Hello, welcome to Hat on Head News Network. It is April 1st, 2020. Going to give you the coronavirus update, show you guys some charts, and just give you an update as to what's going on around the world here today. Definitely next month seems like a very somber, challenging, hard time for everyone as the death tolls rise. There's 920,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus, 46,000 deaths. So this is really just what is on everyone's mind today and probably for the foreseeable future. So we're going to dive right into it. We got some articles. The first article that I'm going to bring you is about Governor Ron DeSantis's response or non-response to the coronavirus, how that's going to play out. And I want to talk to you guys about how kind of politics is playing into the response of this and how unfortunate that is. So here we go for the first story. All right, so the headline: Florida has not issued a statewide stay-at-home order amid coronavirus crisis. Some support Governor Ron DeSantis' approach, others don't. So this is really the part that I want to read to you guys. There are some parts of the country that are in far deeper trouble than others, he said. There are other parts that frankly are not in trouble at all. So I think that is really just a misunderstanding of the coronavirus, of infectious disease. We're all in trouble because this is an invisible enemy. There are cases in Florida and there will be more. So this statement that the governor made, to me, is pretty tone deaf, lacks empathy, and shows that he doesn't really understand what's at hand. I think that it's unfortunate that he just didn't follow down the path of what Trump is saying, which is to respect the medical authorities. There was a short period of time at the start of this where Trump just shut down the borders and didn't do anything else. And there could be some judgment there to lay at his feet. But after that, since he put in the 2-week order and really has kind of stepped out of the way, he has not done what this governor is doing here, which is saying that, he knows better. He's saying that, no medical professional is saying that there are parts that are not in trouble at all. That's not something that people are saying. That being said, there are definitely conflicting opinions, and so I'm just kind of showing what this governor did. So coronavirus is serious, but the cows still have to be milked twice a day, right? And this is also true. There's this statement here that is made. You can look upon it as distasteful, but essential services are still keeping us alive. It doesn't. We have to keep our infrastructure going. We have to keep the essential services working. And that being said, obviously, this measure here is really important to stop people from gathering. All right, so that's basically just looking at what Florida is doing, their late response, and all of this. If we, fast forward a year, we're just going to be looking back and being able to figure out what measures were important and what inaction cost lives. But that's what leadership is, the responsibility of making these decisions that affect all of us greatly. And many people think that the governor of Florida definitely kind of messed this one up, and that people will lose their lives as a result. All right, now the next story here. So this is the NPR take on the White House presentation. So one thing that just about the White House presentation of yesterday. So it has, here it is. So just by the numbers, they're saying that between 100,000 and 2.2 million Americans are going to die. So that's a huge spread, but this curve thing, it's a visualization of a projection of 100,000 to 2.2 million Americans dead. So this is pretty. So it's unreal. Now, we do have to compare it to, it is important, I think, to compare it to the flu, and the flu numbers are hundreds of thousands of people die of the flu every year. This graph is really good here because it's April and May, and it shows that this month, so today is April 1st, this month is really going to be the worst month. Well, I mean, we would hope that this month is the worst month, because if it wouldn't be, then we're in a really even worse, dire situation. All right, this third article here, so after that article where I was showing you basically Ron DeSantis' words about not closing down his state, not issuing a stay-at-home order. So that was yesterday, March 31st at 10:30 was that article. This is 2 p.m. April 1st. So Florida, Pennsylvania issue stay-at-home orders amid coronavirus outbreak. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf issued statewide orders Wednesday mandating all residents to stay at home during the coronavirus outbreak. And this here is a nice visualization. So there are still, basically, these are a lot of very independently minded states that just don't want to have a response. Now, although I disagree with this in terms of its viability when you're dealing with a global pandemic in 2020, I do want to present this argument because it's worth presenting in a good light. And that is that basically what they would say is that we have no medical expertise, so we are not going to tell anyone to do anything. That's what these states and just people in general, that's also before, but see, the thing is with Ron DeSantis' statements is that he goes into the realm of talking about the situation and the danger and the safety of his citizens as if he had authority. So that's where I think there's a more overarching problem. And that being said, from my perspective, I do like the leadership of Governor Cuomo, where he's giving you the data, he's going up there every day, and if you compare Cuomo versus Trump, I would take Cuomo's style in updating us over Trump's, just because there's so much about the arrogance and just the explaining what he just did and how it's amazing and all of this stuff, where Cuomo, it seems, is just more matter of fact about the situation. And we always get more information when Trump leaves the pulpit and we're listening to Pence and the other professionals. So anyway, so that's my kind of take on the Cuomo versus Trump response. So here we go. Even though there's a lot of places in Florida with very low infection rates, it makes sense to make this move now, DeSantis said at a press briefing Wednesday. So again, that would mean that before, he then thinks that he is an expert in infectious diseases, and it did not make sense before. And only now, because he's an expert in infectious diseases, does he think we should close. I disagree with this. This is not, you should not consider yourself to be an expert in infectious diseases. That's why Trump did the right thing by passing off the authority to Fauci in terms of what the response is. And every time that Trump defers and says he doesn't know, that's when he's doing the right thing. And when he's, retroactively talking about him doing the right thing, well, I don't like that, but these are the different responses here. He said that he had consulted with President Donald Trump about implementing a stay-at-home order. He explained that the CDC's decision to extend its guidelines 30 more days convinced him to make the decision because it clearly represents effectively a national pause. I mean, he's basically just saying that he was slow and that he needed more evidence. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think that he did a very good job in this situation. Alright, so here's the Worldometer's numbers, and we're also going to take a look at another graph from Johns Hopkins University after this. So, right now we have 920,000 cases, 46,000 deaths. So yesterday we had 4,500 deaths, which is way up from the 30th, 37, 32. So we're definitely on the upswing here. Things are the beginning of the worst month of this pandemic. So all right. So this one has 911,000 cases. So I think this is just a lag time of them updating the data. But as you can see here, the Northeast United States, which unobjectively I consider to be, the powerhouse of the world. There's a lot of stuff going on over here, a lot of people, a lot of, so yeah, we're getting hit right now, but I definitely think that this is the great equalizer in terms of, everyone's feeling the mental anguish of this. Everyone, should be doing their best to contain this outbreak because it hurts us all. I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to go over here again to Mask Save Lives because I was at the grocery store and there was only about maybe 20% of people who are wearing masks. It seems like the masks are the tool that allows us to have somewhat of a normal life. What I mean by that is we still have to go to the store, we still have to go out to do a few things, and people who work still have to get to work. So the mask is what allows you to, because it's impossible to completely social distance, in many situations, and the mask is what allows you to reduce your risk, So I just want to show this graphic and explain it briefly. So this is number of days since the 100th case, and you see these 3 countries are doing a lot better. So, and then this is the number of cases, right? So number of days and cases, they're not going up nearly Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, they have really effectively been able to slow the spread. And these countries here, the US with 4,600, Italy with 13,000, and Spain with 9,000 were not able to slow the spread. Now this Chinese number, we cannot trust it. It's clearly more than that. So, but if you look, the countries that have been able to really slow their spread are using masks, which is definitely something that we should encourage everyone to do. All right, thank you for joining me here in the Hat on Head news cabin, getting the update from the coronavirus. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're interested in more videos. Keep your hat on your head.